Hello everyone, Scott here, and if you're anything like me, you won't take too much care when it comes to skincare. That is until I found these products from Geology. I took the skincare quiz on the Geology website, and these were the products sent to me. In the box, you get a morning and night routine instruction card to make sure you get the most out of the products, as well as an info card telling you exactly what the ingredients are in the products in your customised box. As you can see, I got the everyday face wash, eye cream, morning cream and night cream. You actually get 2 face wash products, one for the sink and one for the shower, which is a pretty good idea. Geology creates simple and effective skincare and hair care routines customised just for you with ingredients that are proven to work. The products are built around just a handful of powerful, proven ingredients that have been trusted by dermatologists for decades. There has never been a better time to try Geology than right now. We have partnered with Geology, and for a very limited time, click at the link in the description for this podcast or scan the QR code on screen. Use the code CLUB100 and you'll get 100% off your personalised skincare routine. They are giving you a free trial of their 26-time award-winning skincare. All you have to do is cover the $4.95 for the shipping. This is hands down the best deal that is out there, better than anything on their website. And on top of that, they will give you an additional 30% off, an additional bonus offer on a skin, hair or body care add-on of your choice when you add it to your trial. Believe me when I say this, you may never see this offer again, so get it before it is gone. Thank you to Geology for sponsoring this podcast here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Welcome to Club Deck Corner here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. This week, Clement claims his first win and creates some optimism among the fans, and we look ahead to our next game in the Europa League group stages, which will be away to Sparta Prague on Thursday evening. I am Scott Carney, and hurrah, a full house. Ali Pearson, how's it going, mate?
Very well. That Geology was quite a good thing, Carney, you didn't know at the beginning. Yeah, that's Scotia's grooming routine, Scotia. That's the next thing for you. He's not biting that at all.
No, he's not biting that. So I think Scotia might be in the depths of the realms of Helensburgh, I think, maybe. Possibly. I'll come back to him. Ryan, how's it going?
Yeah, good, mate. Quite impressed with that Geology advert there. Makes you think.
100%, 100% off, but like 100%. Like, that's brilliant.
Aye. It's I see that this time of year, people are obviously want to get Christmas presents in, but I was thinking along the line of Jink Philip Clement does a bit of moisturising. I wonder if he does. Like, I think he looks as if he maybe puts a bit of moisturiser on his head because it looks smooth. And I would say Tavernier. I think Tavernier looks like a big moisturiser. He looks as if he's a bit of a soft face, doesn't he? Yeah. But I get involved with that. But I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, good to have you, mate. And Scotia, are you there?
Oh, yes, I am. Yes, having the usual problems with Wi-Fi at the moment. I think it must just be the changing seasons. You know, it's getting darker and then it's taking its time to adjust. But no, I'm good. How are you guys?
Yes, all good, mate. Yes, all good. Yeah, you are. You need to get your data. I'll steal Ali's joke. Get your data pedal faster, mate. I think to get the Wi-Fi going. But yeah, I am shameless plug as always to support the podcast to reach the next level. You can join the YouTube channel for as little as 99p a month. You can also buy the podcast a coffee and join the Coffee by Legend membership via buymeacoffee.com. All the links are in the description for this podcast. And as the lads have just said, we have for this particular episode. We have partnered with Geology. So for 100% off their 26-time award-winning skincare routine, click the link in the description for this podcast or scan the QR code that's over by Ali's head and use the code CLUB100. All you need to do is cover the $4.95 for the shipping. So thank you very much to Geology for sponsoring this episode. And the stuff is generally pretty good. As I say, I have done it. I have used the stuff and I'm like, well, yeah, I'm liking that. So yeah, I'm vain. I don't care. I'll put it out there. I'm vain. It doesn't bother me. So tonight, lads, we'll spend a bit of time discussing Clement's first game. Obviously, before we come on to what our next game's going to be. So Rangers running out 4-0 winners against Hibs. Ali, now that the dust is settled and the beer has wore off, your overall thoughts on the game, mate, before we break it down a bit?
I thought it was very good. It was an enjoyable day at Ibrox. Against Hibs, I thought Hibs would show a bit more, Carney, than what they did. I was not disappointed in Hibs, but I thought they would show more because they've got the new manager bounce as well. But in terms of Rangers, no complaints from me, Carney. I think 11 of that team, 10 of that 11 played against Aris Limassol, I think. And you see the performance they put in there. So, yeah, there's subtle changes you've seen. High pressing, moving the ball quicker. The basics for me, which we should have been doing, which I thought we were doing correctly. They looked like we knew which type of shape we were doing. The players looked like they had direction. Overall, I thought it was positive, Carney. 4 goals, a clean sheet. And let's be honest, 4-0 flat Hibs. That could have been 6 or 7 on Saturday. And it's a fantastic start for Clement. But it's a start and we need to build from that moving forward.
Yeah, Scotia, you've not had your chance to be on the pod since the result, mate. What's your take on the game?
Yeah, I really enjoyed Saturday. Maybe a wee bit too much, hence why I wasn't on the post-match pod. To be fair, no, but it was an enjoyable day from start to finish. Really, everything that Ali said there. I think you look back and just looking at the scoreline, you maybe look back and you think of the Livingston games where we won 4-0 against them, but there wasn't the same enjoyment in those games. You know, three of the goals for those games came late on, where we were toiling for an awful lot of that. Felt we looked in control pretty much the whole match. Played really well. Played the way I wanted to see us play. Played the way we should be playing. It shouldn't take a change of management to get them playing like this. But it was encouraging to see. And like Ali says, we need to continue that. And I know we'll probably come to discuss that with Clement's after-match comments. But we need to see this continuing.
Yeah, definitely. Ryan, we've got a right to enjoy this. I'm not going to say that we haven't. Considering the way this season has went so far, I think we are quite right to enjoy what we've seen on Saturday. But we have been stung before. There's absolutely zero doubt about that. But this wee wave of optimism that we have, mate, it's been missing for far too long.
Aye, far too long. It's got to start somewhere as well. I heard I read the odd comment, people kind of shooting down, saying Hibs aren't a great team. I don't really care where we were and how I felt about that team. And Rangers, you've got to start somewhere. And it was all positivity for me on Saturday. It's, as Ali said, it's the basics that they put in place that they should have had in place against Limassol and Aberdeen, the games that we lost points to. They should be the basics where you're applying and you're running off the ball, tackling, physicality, as Clement said, and mentality as well for killing the game off. If Rangers do that, and I can't remember if I said in the pod or off the pod, if Rangers do that in the SPL, they win 9 out of 10 games, or maybe more than that, because it's all you need. They have the ability. We are a better team than Aberdeen and these teams that have beaten us, Limassol. If we apply ourselves and the mentality's there and the physicality, they're fighting for the ball. I mean, there was times where we did lose the ball when we were trying to attack quickly, but we won the ball back quickly, Carney, and that's what we weren't doing under Beale. And that might be Michael Beale wasn't giving the message out, or he was giving the message out, the players weren't buying into it, but something was different on Saturday, and long may it continue.
Yeah, and I think, again, I'm not going to get carried away. I'm not sitting here saying that everything's perfect and everything about the performance was perfect, because it wasn't. There is still very much work to be done. But for the improvements that I've seen and for the bounce that it may or may not have been with the new manager coming in, I'm going to take the positives in it, because, I say, for too long we've been getting ourselves stuck down on the pretty poor football that we've seen throughout the entirety of this season so far. And saying it was just a wee bit of a feel-good factor, and to leave Ibrox, all of us kind of with a smile on our face. That's what it's all about for me. It really is. It's okay winning football matches, but see, to do it with a wee bit of style, yeah, to an extent. I thought some of the goals were really good, and we'll come on to individual players as well. I thought some of the goals were really good, but it all felt different. There was a collective different feeling inside the whole of Ibrox from pretty much the start of the game, because the players showed, I think the players showed the fans that they were up for it, and they were willing to do things, and they were willing to try, and they were willing to go for it, and the fans very quickly got on their side, which I thought was pretty important throughout the game. Ali, you mentioned it quickly just before. You mentioned it briefly, sorry, just as I first came to you, the changes that was made within the squad, probably in terms of more structural information, I suppose, and maybe just the more desire, the better work rate. We looked far more clinical in terms of taking our chances when they come our way. And at 4-0, mate, we were still looking to add more. And yes, it is just the start, but if it's a sign of things to come, mate, then I'm going to be optimistic about it.
Nah, you need to be optimistic, and we've been down in the dumps for how long with this Rangers team? So we've got a new manager. We've got a new manager bounce, which a lot of teams do get. But you could see, I mean, he's only been in the door when he took over against Hibs. What did he have from Monday to the Saturday? So he's had, what, 5 days?
He had 2 days with the full squad that was available.
So he's not had much, and you need to say there was guys come back for international football as well that only were in the door on the Thursday as well. So he's not had much time, and you can see small things. I just think he's got a bit of an aura about him, Carney. He's an intimidating guy. I don't think he'll take fools gladly. But you could see just subtle changes. You could see the players were buying into what he wants, how he wants to play. You could see his enthusiasm on the side of the park. I mean, when he touched that ball after about 5 minutes in the touchline, I honestly didn't think, I thought it was in when he touched it. But obviously the Hibs manager wasn't too chuffed for that. But I like things like that. But he was, no, in terms of Rangers, it's positive because there was a lot of players, a lot of them that are getting bashed in terms of your Lammers, who he was okay. I mean, it was maybe too tough on him in my post-match. He was okay. Dessers, I know we had a bit of not a disagreement away down the road, Carney, in terms of Dessers and that, but he was decent enough and he got his goal. So there's positives in the game there. So, but we need to build on it. We've got big games coming up. Obviously, we've got a game Thursday. Hearts kind of back to back with Dundee in between there. So there's big games coming up, but no, it's positive and there's players coming back as well. So it'll only get better, this Rangers team.
Yeah, Scotia, I think, I mean, obviously I'm not a tactics guy. I'm not a guru in that sense in any way, shape or form. Very simple football in terms of the tactical approaches and all that work, movement of the balls, players, roles, etc. But I felt like it was simplified to the players on Saturday for what they had to do. There was a formation we were playing in possession. There was a formation we were playing out of possession. And he almost just let the players do their thing. There's your role. That's what your role is within the formation that we're going to do. Go and play football. And to me, it just worked. Moving the ball quicker and being a wee bit more up in your work rate. Who would have thought it would have led to more attractive football?
Yeah, you kind of hit the nail on the head there, Carney. That the players were given. You could visibly see that the players had been given clear instructions on what Clement expected them to do. And when they were given clear instructions, they can go out and execute it. Because like Ali mentioned that stat there, that 10 out of 11 played against Limassol. You wouldn't think they're the same team watching those 2 games back to back, would you?
That's true.
And for me, it came across as just being clear instructions given by Clement and Van der Heyden. And the players were able to execute that, because I did feel previously under Beale, the team were just confused. And I think we were feeling that as well. We spoke about it often enough with them not knowing what formation they're playing, not knowing where they're playing in that formation. Just think something as simple as that can get them going. And long may it continue.
Yeah, Ryan, as well, I think it was important. Look, it is just 1-1. I get that. But as I say, I'm not going to take anything away from it, because it was a well-needed win for all of us, for the club, for the squad, for the fans, for everybody. To get a win like that and to get a performance like that, 4 goals at Ibrox on a Saturday at 3 o'clock is just what you go to Ibrox for. It's really what it's all about. Hibs weren't great. I'm not going to sit here and pretend Hibs were world beaters, because they weren't. I thought they were poor. Their attacking line especially, it was very poor. You would expect more from the likes that are playing up front for them. But I think one of the biggest things that I noticed, that the lull, mate, after between 15 minutes and 75 minutes had gone. And I did have the fear. As well as watching the game, I was like watching the time, I was like waiting to see if it was going to happen, and it didn't really come. There was a moment the players tried to get themselves into it. I think they tried to slip into that wee lull, and Clement, just straight from the get-go, you could see him on the touchline trying to get them to up their tempo and constantly move, and it broke that habit that we've had, mate, and I think that was crucial on Saturday.
I remember that moment. I remember thinking to myself, this will be interesting, because we've seen it before with Rangers. If they go 1 or 2-0 up and they just go, do you know what, just hold on to the ball because the job's done here. Yeah, we've seen it so many times that the scar tissue is there that we probably thought, here we go again. And it's fair play. Like, yeah, Clement said his influence there, but it's fair play to the players as well. I need to give them credit because I've bashed them all season, deservedly so, but I've bashed them all season. They showed the mentality and they showed hunger to put that game away on Saturday, and more so, they wanted to score more goals. They looked as if some of them were enjoying themselves, which I haven't seen. Rangers players always look so serious, Carney, and they actually look as if they're enjoying themselves. You could see a kind of a unity between the players when they scored. Even when Dessers scored, they all looked pleased from all running up to him, and it was really pleasing to see. And yeah, Hibs weren't great, but I don't really care. I genuinely don't care. It was good to just go and enjoy a game and feel like in a different atmosphere at Ibrox, because it has been a horrible place to be. And then, as I said, after the Aberdeen game, I never want to feel that feeling in Ibrox. I've never felt it before. I never want to feel that again. So it was a million miles away from that, and it's a starting block for Clement to go off on his debut with Rangers. But the players need to buy into it now. They would have felt that on Saturday. They must have enjoyed it. More of it. Do that, and you win 9 out of 10 games, as I said. And yeah, I'll be interested to see how they go. As Ali said, they've got quite a few games coming up. Wednesday, no, is it Thursday, Sunday? Wednesday, Sunday again. So they've got quite a few games. So they just need to keep this momentum going and get a good feel again. Is it synergy? Is that what Clement calls it? The synergy.
The synergy, mate, that's exactly it. But I would think it was more the synergy between us and the fans, the players and the fans as well, which I did feel was back. I think you could feel the crowd wanting to back this team, and we were very much on side after the kind of first half performance. And for the players to get a decent reception at half time makes a change, really does make a change. Ryan, you mentioned players, so I'll come back to you, but the first guy I'm going to speak about, and it's Dessers, mate. Now, we did have a wee bit of disagreement walking down Paisley Road after the game. I don't think he was terrible. I don't think he was by any means near the potential of what he probably is. But I thought he was decent. I thought some of his movement was good. I thought some of his link-up play was okay. And he did manage to get his goal. I think the goal was maybe a wee bit undervalued because I think it is a really composed finish. He does take his time, he lets the defender commit himself and he passes that ball into the back of the net. If Jermaine Defoe did that, for example, everybody would be screaming about what a composed finish that was. And you can see I'm trying to back the guy here. I'm literally trying to back the guy. And the reverse pass for Cantwell was obviously made it. He should have obviously had an assist as well, I feel, because Lammers somehow manages to hit the post when it looked harder to miss than it did to score. But overall, mate, I think we have to try and get behind the guy because his confidence is clearly on rock bottom, or has been on rock bottom. But see the reception he got, mate, after the goal, when the reception he got, he went off. That wasn't, what's the word I'm looking for? It wasn't sympathy by the Rangers fans. It wasn't in a way to mock him. There's a word for it, and I can't think what word it is. One of you will be able to say it, but it wasn't. I don't feel like it was that. It wasn't. We weren't being. I can't think of the word. It will come back to me, but I can't think of the word. But it was more encouragement of going, right, okay, we've seen a wee bit from you, and we're going to back you. So, am I too far on the Dessers train for you?
You're a couple of carriages ahead of me. It wasn't. I know what you're trying to say. It wasn't like a kind of sarcastic cheer. It was just
sarcastic. Yes, there's a reason you're on this podcast, mate. Yes,
it wasn't. I googled it. It wasn't a kind of sarcastic, kind of theatrical cheer for him. It was more kind of endearing to him because he plays for Rangers, and I always say this, like I'll slate Borna Barisic, whoever. The bottom line is, I want every one of those players to prove me wrong. I want Dessers to be top goal scorer. I'm going to struggle to say this. I want Borna Barisic to be a 10 out of 10 every time he plays. I want these players to succeed. Tavernier, or the ones that I give the most stick to, and people in the comments, I want them all to do well, and I think the support, I think it was like really encouraging for him. He would have enjoyed it. He's quite a modest guy anytime I've heard him in an interview, but he needs to kick on, Carney. I'm not going to say to you, sit here and say he deserved his goal because he was great on Saturday. I still don't think he was. He needs to up at levels. Yes, he can sometimes with his link-up play, he can look tidy, but he needs to be a bit more clinical, a bit more physical. He's got levels to go yet before he's the number 9, shall we say, because I think a man's coming back with a mask on his face, and I think he's going to be the first choice striker. But scoring that goal, as you said, see if Todd Cantwell scores that goal, it's all over Twitter all week.
Yeah.
everybody's retweeting it. Look how class this is. Look how composed it is. I didn't really appreciate it until I saw it on Twitter, saw the replay of it. It is a very nice finish. I didn't realise how cute it was. So credit to him, because I probably didn't give it to him on Saturday, but credit to him for that finish. And let's see how he gets on, because I still think he's going to start going forward just now until Danilo's a bit more comfortable with this mask on. But yeah, we're all behind him 100%. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, Scotia. Clement on Dessers said, I spoke with him earlier this week about working ever so hard for the team, and then the chances will come. It's then about being cool and confident, so I'm happy for him that he scored. Now, and I think that's crucial as well. And even Dessers after the game, he was quite humble when he was saying, I'm nowhere near what my best is. And all we can ask for is to see an improvement in the players that we've not been impressed with so far this season. And on Saturday, that's probably one of the best times I've seen Dessers play.
Yeah, I felt Dessers had a decent enough game. I know, obviously, when Clement came in, he spoke about giving all the players a white sheet, and I kind of jokingly said on the pod on Friday night there that there's some of them that I wouldn't be giving that white sheet to. And I'm not going to lie, Dessers would probably have been one of them.
Agreed.
I thought he had a fairly decent game on Saturday there. He linked up well for Sima's first. He probably should score before Sima gets his second. You know, a player with confidence probably scores that. The chance that he created just before Sima knocked it away. But he persevered, and like Clement said and the aftermatch that he spoke about, working hard. Dessers continued to work hard, and then he got that chance to score about 10, 15 minutes later. And he took it away quite nicely. I think when you watch it back, you don't catch the nuance of the goal when you're watching it live, but he took his time to look where the space was, and he placed it in very well, which is a good sign, because maybe I'm slightly leaning towards giving him that white sheet for a few more games and see if he can keep it up. But the evidence so far hasn't pointed that. He needs to work hard, like Clement said, and hopefully he does.
Yeah, we've just got to hope he kicks on from there. Ali, you can have your say on Dessers as well, but I'll tie Lammers into it. I didn't think he was great. He really should score that goal. He's another one that looks like he's really struggling for confidence, and I still seen pretty much the same thing from him, I think. And maybe I'm being too harsh, but I say after watching the game back, I'm like, I feel like he's still doing that thing where he looks like he's involved, but he doesn't really do anything, if that makes sense. There's no real end product to him. And okay, he's probably unlucky the fact that he smashed it against the post, but it's still a striker or an attacking player full with confidence, mate, burst the net open there, and he didn't. So your take on Dessers and Lammers on Saturday?
Dessers, he was okay for me. He was a 6 out of 10, I would say. His goal, yeah, I agree with Ryan. I looked it back, it was a better goal, and I thought watching it live at Ibrox, he kind of goes to shoot but doesn't deliberately, and then passes the ball back in the net. So it was a good goal. He's got the ship going forward, Carney, so he's got it all to prove for me. He's got a lot to prove for me. Do I feel confident when he's in goal for Rangers? No, I don't. But I want him to prove me wrong. I agree with Ryan.
He's in goal? Does Dessers play in goal?
No, when he's
he's leading the line.
Front of goal. When he's in front of goal.
I'm not confident with Dessers in goal either, mate, to be honest.
Aye. Club at 22 exclusive here. Butland's injured, is that Ali?
Dessers is in the sticks.
Yeah, no, so to rephrase that, when he's in front of goal, I still don't have confidence in him, but I want to change that the way I think, obviously. So Danilo going forward for me, he played the B team during the week there, I think. So for me, he's the first pick. But like I said, Dessers has the shirt at the moment. He scored. He's going to have a wee run here, so it's up to him to prove us all wrong. But I thought he was okay. Lammers, again, he was a 5 or a 6 for me at the weekend. There was points of the game I thought some of his passing was decent, but that was it. The one you talk about, Cantwell hits the post, he's got to score that. That's an absolute sitter, and you can see why he's hardly scored any goals in his career, especially the last 3 years. He flatters to deceive for me quite a lot. He looks decent on the ball at times, but then nothing really, like you say, comes off. So for me, he plays where Cantwell plays. And now Cantwell's back, Cantwell plays for me. So Lammers is, for me, he's on the bench going forward, because Cantwell's the number one guy that you build a team around. and the two of them, I think, play that position. And Cantwell's 10 times the player he is at the moment. Again, I hope Lammers proves me wrong, but he's done nothing. And it's bizarre because we all looked at pre-season out all the players and thought, there's something there. You can see there's something there, and he's just fallen off a cliff since he's actually came into competitive football with Rangers. So, again, he's got it all to prove. But do I see him really? I just don't see he can. I don't. I hope I'm wrong, but Clement will be looking at these guys in January. He'll be coming up very soon, Carney, and he'll be saying to the board, he's not good enough. I know you can't just get rid of players, but he'll have a note of players up to January saying, no, they're not for me. We need to try and move them on. And he's one that has to really show something from now on.
Yeah, Scotia, as Ali likes to do, he pulls up the next player. But I'll call it a seamless link, actually, that's what I'll call it. And he was talking about Cantwell there. Obviously, we've seen the return of him to the pitch, a guy that's blatantly not fully fit yet. That's, I think, quite clear. But he still makes an incredible impact when he comes on. He's absolutely crucial for us. I would be shocked if Clement's not thinking, you're the guy I need to build at least the front half of the team around.
Yeah, I mean, when Cantwell come on the pitch, he gets that visible reaction. And I think that's where he is as a player for us as well. That when we see him come on, we expect him to come on and do something. Gives the fans a bit of a lift, and he's got that credit in the bank that your likes of Lammers doesn't have, and he's not shown it yet, Lammers. But no, when Cantwell come on, look good, look sharp. Sort of playing. Obviously, Lammers had stayed on the pitch for quite a while before young Ross McCausland came on, so we're kind of interchanging there with Cantwell and Lammers. I thought Cantwell was really good when he came on. I know he didn't get the full 45 minutes in the second half, but it was an encouraging start because I think he's going to be, like Ali, he's going to be vital for us if we want to do things in Europe, if we want to do things in the league, because he is such an important player for us. And hopefully, like Ali mentioned there, Clement can see that he will be the person that would play in that position that Lammers started in. And just touching on Lammers as well, you've obviously got the likes of Lawrence to come back who would, potentially be in that role as well. That at the moment, I think it's Cantwell for me that gets that once he's back up to full match sharpness, and hopefully he's not too far away from that over the next 2 games, that he can get into the swing and be starting for us regularly.
Yeah, that's what I hope for, because Ryan, I thought he just does what he does when he's played in the position that he's meant to play in, mate. Okay, he was out on the right a wee bit to start with, and I think that was more Clement testing the water with him to see where he was, maybe fitness level wise, and how comfortable he was in that position. But it's no shock that it's him breaking into the middle for the 4th goal with the clever reverse pass, that he's in that area when he is at full effect. I just think he's going to be crucial for us.
Todd Cantwell's raised the bar in terms of level of player at Ibrox since he's come in. He is a player that we've been crying out for. I think we've been signing a lot of players who the careers maybe fallen away, or they've got it to prove, or they've shown potential. Todd Cantwell stepped up, and the level he's playing at just now, and going forward, if he can keep doing that, we've seen with Calvin Bassey, we'll struggle to hold on to him. He will catch the eye down south. I just hope we can hold on to him for a couple of seasons if he plays at that level. Also, you see him if he's given that floating 10, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the tactical or technical term for it would be. That's where he's effective. That is his best role in football, not filling in at right back as he did Neil Firm. It just shows you if you are playing a player like that in the correct position, then you'll get the full effect of him. I cannot wait till Cantwell is fully fit and gets a run of games, because I think he could be a huge influence in this team going forward. It'll be interesting to see how Clement works with him as well. And I will also say with Lammers, I agree, boys, is falling off the face of the cliff, if use Ali's term. There's a new manager in, and I want to see what Clement does with him. Does he put his arm around him and say, whatever's happened has happened? For me, he's a player who's complicating play. He is getting the ball, drops a shoulder, sends a guy one way, and then passes the ball straight to the opposition. He looks nervous as well and low in confidence. I'll be giving him a pass at the moment because there's a new manager in place, and we'll see what Clement can do with him, because I did see something at the beginning of the season. I totally put my hands up. He's done nothing since. But yeah, he was poor on Saturday, but let's just see how the new management team treat him and see if we can get a tune out of him.
Yeah, absolutely. You can tell it's been a while since we've had the four of us on because of the length of the conversation that we're having as well. But also, it's a difference that we're feeling in the fact of just one game. And I think it's important for fans to feel like that. I generally do. I've not seen many people saying, oh, it was just luck or whatever. There's definitely a change afoot here. There's change happening. Ali, before we move on, I'll speak briefly about Clement as well after this. Abdallah Sima, mate, me and you have had the conversation on the concourse I don't know how many times about him that I thought no chance is he good enough to play for us. He's not half proven me wrong, mate, I'm telling you. He is absolutely on fire. I thought both of his goals were very well taken. His first one especially I thought was a great finish. He could have squared that to Dessers, but this is one guy in the team right now, mate, that's absolutely flying with confidence, and he's the first name in the team sheet just now.
Aye, he's clinical, can't he? Which is bizarre to say because he's erratic. His outfield plays erratic at times, but see when he's in front of goal, he's clinical. See when he bust past that guy, I knew he was scoring. I just knew he was scoring. Second goal as well, again clinical for me. He's it's weird because at the beginning of the season he was in that group of Dessers, Lammers, and Sima. You were all going, Sima, he looks like folk were thinking of him as a Sakala and stuff, but similar to Sakala, if you want to say, his numbers don't lie. He scores goals for Rangers, and he scored big goals for Rangers. And for me, Carney, he continues to play. Yes, he's the first name in the team sheet because he scores goals for us. It's and he's got pace as well. Defenders hate pace, and he's got pace to burn, like Matondo, who's unfortunate out at the moment. But yeah, for me, he's first name in the team sheet, Carney, and he's a good one to put for your first goal scorer because he seems to score first all the time.
Yeah, Scotia, I think as well, when you don't have a number 9 firing in all cylinders like Dessers, it's important to have goals coming from elsewhere. And as a kind of wide forward, I suppose he'd probably be considered as, he's really living up to the mark in that sense. And I think even his second goal, okay, Dessers makes a bit of a mess of it, but I still think if he doesn't do that, then Sima doesn't get the chance that he gets. But see they just turn and put your boot through it and put it into the top bin. So I was like, that's a terrific goal as well. That really is. And he's getting a knack of being in the right place at the right time right now.
Yeah, I think he's just slightly better than 1 and 2 at the moment in terms of goal scoring for us since he's come in, and that's vitally important, like you say, because Dessers hasn't clicked in the mark and because Danilo's been out injured. You want to see that. Ali mentioned Sakala there, and I tend to agree, but I feel more confident when Sima's in front of the goal than when Sakala ever was, because you didn't really know what you were going to get from Sakala. You could get one of those misses that he produced against Celtic in the Cups last season, but with Sima you don't have that. He is very, very good and clinical. He's one of these players that, yes, at the moment he's getting played out in that wide left, but I think he could suit playing up beside a striker and like a top 2 as well, being that kind of support to a striker in that way, because that's not something that we've seen quite yet from Clement. Well, obviously we've only had one game, but I know he's favoured like a 4-4-2 type formation in the past. As Sima that option, because he gives you that flexibility as well, that if it's not working out with the 2 up top, you can switch to playing him a bit wider. No, I like Sima. He's been impressive so far. Yes, there are some aspects of his game where he still looks a bit awkward, but that'll come. I think, did he not come from, before he went to Slavia Prague, did he not come from like an 8th division French team or something like that? He came from very, very low down the leagues, I'm sure. And maybe sometimes that shows, but you know, he's on what age is Sima? 24, 23?
23, 24, like that.
He's 22 or something.
He's quite young.
Yeah, he's still got a bit of time to develop. I think if he does keep developing, then it's, you know, that's something we'll need to look at in terms of, are we able to get him from Brighton?
Cost a pretty penny, I'd imagine, if he keeps scoring goals anyway. Ryan, see, in terms of his stats as well, he's a big, powerful guy. He's got a quick turn of pace on him. You've seen that with the first goal, especially when he puts the afterburners on. He doesn't have get up to some amount of pace, and I think that'll be a player that Clement will like.
Yeah, he's direct as well, mate. He's direct, which is something we've been screaming out for. We exhaust the criticism of constantly pass and finding the wings. Sima just wants to run with the ball sometimes, and when he is running, he is absolutely lightning. His finish, I agree with Ali, when he ran through and goal on Saturday. I was like, he'll bury this. I knew he would. He can be quite physical as well, I think. And I think what Scotia says is a good point, that if you played him up top with someone, I think we maybe did see it in sense of, was it PSV he played Sima and Wright off of Roof, was it we played that night? Was that them? He definitely played. I can't remember who it was, or was it away from home? My memory's terrible, but we played one striker trying to put balls off to Sima and off to Wright, and it did work. And I could see that happen again, maybe even Thursday. He might just play the two up top, but he just gives us something different, Carney. Really something different. And the good thing about Sima, which is opposite to some players that we've mentioned tonight, is I don't think Ibrox and Rangers phases him. He seems to really enjoy it. He seems to take it on the chin when it isn't going for him. He's pumping the chest when he scores the goals, and he just looks like somebody's enjoying his football. When long may it continue, because I'll be honest, I wrote him off at the beginning of the season. I was struggling to see anything. I know he got a couple of tap-ins, maybe a deflected goal off, I can't remember, a couple of kind of scrappy goals, but you've got to be there. But those two finishes on Saturday were very cute, and it can only be good for him and his confidence.
Absolutely, yeah, and also special mention to the midfield too. And I'm only doing that quickly because we could talk about individual players all night. But I thought Raskin was very good, particularly in that second half. It was a case of, there's the ball, I'm going to go and get it, and John Lundstrom was there behind him in case he failed, Julie. And I thought Lundstrom did his job very well. I thought he controlled that kind of deep line midfield role. Just let Raskin go and do his thing, and he controlled anything else that came his way. And I thought it just worked. I thought the balance of it just seemed to work, and as I say, it's good to see Raskin get off the score sheet as well with a great goal, really, with a great finish, an absolute superb finish. Before we move on to the Prague game, Ryan, I'll come back to you, mate, just to speak about Clement himself. After the game, I thought he handled it really well. I thought he tempered the expectations. I thought he said pretty much what we are saying now. Obviously, now that the dust has settled, that it's just a win. It's the first game for him. He was happy with certain elements of it. He's happy that the seeds that he'd planted, he's managed to see them through the story. Or to start the story, as he keeps referring it to. But as I say, I think he was delighted with the fact that the fans got right behind him. And as a start goes, as a Rangers manager, mate, it's not going to come much better for him for that.
No, it won't. And he'll know that as well. He'll know it's got off to a flyer, and he'll be trying to keep the players kind of feet in the ground and not let themselves get carried away. And let's not beat about the bush, boys. We're not in a title race at the moment. I think I said to you, for me personally, I'm not even thinking about them just now. I just want to see this team get some confidence back, get some results on the board, and start picking up points again. I think that's where we're at the moment. I think that's what he'll be saying to the players. But I'm trying not to get too ahead of the game with Clement. I'm really liking what he's saying. I'm liking his style. He's keeping his feet on the ground, and the reason why I'm liking that is because the previous regime were very good at talking the talk, very good constantly saying what was going to happen and how great we were. And even the assistant manager, I think before the previous regime left, said how great we were against PSV and such like. So he's very good at keeping everybody's feet on the ground. And I think it was Stevie Clifford who asked him and said, I thought we played really well today. And he said, do you think that was better than it was before? And he's like, good. I like that. I really like that answer. It was just showed a kind of fun side to him, but also as if, yeah, it was good, but it'll get better. So really liking what I'm hearing from Clement at the moment, but he still has a huge job to do with these players, because we've been bitten before. We know what they can do, and that's his job. That's him and his team's job, to keep these players on the right track.
Yeah, Ali, I think one of the seeds that Clement talks about is not passing the ball side to side for no apparent reason at all. And I did feel like there was very little of that. And I think that's something that's going to be very pleasing for us all to see, mate, it will be the end of this horseshoe, tippy-tappy sideways football, mate, and we are going to see a much more direct team under him. But as I say, in terms of starts goal, mate, he's probably thinking to himself, that probably couldn't have went any better than what it did.
No, it's a perfect start for him. I did like his post-match presser when he was kind of folk weren't getting carried away, but they were happy, and he was basically saying, "Well, so you're happy with that?" As if to say it was okay, but we can get better. So I liked that. I liked what he was saying. So it was good. But in terms of a start, he couldn't ask for a better start. He's probably been looking at Rangers this season, at the games we played, the group of players he's got to work with, and thinking, because they've been so poor. Obviously, the injuries we've had haven't helped, but perfect start for him. As I said, Canny, 4 goals at Ibrox, clean sheet. Could have been more. Some players that we've written off, you got a slight tune out of. For me, it's all positives going forward, and the crowd were back behind, as we mentioned, they were back behind the team. Not that we were never not behind the team, but I think one big thing he did say was that was the main thing he took out the game, was the relationship between the team and the fans looked like it was back in terms of there was a synergy there. So, no, it's all positives going forward, and like I say, it's hopefully it's the start of good things to come with this Rangers manager and this team.
Yeah, Scotia, I think he's very good with the media. I think he's very good with his words and the way that he likes to portray himself. I don't doubt inside he's probably got, as I've mentioned, he was probably going, that's as good as it could have went. Really, I could imagine it going any better than that, but he'll know himself that there's still plenty of work to be done. But the biggest thing he's done here, mate, is immediately got every single fan on his side.
Yeah, you can tell he's been a manager before, can't you? You can tell he's been in situations that he's been under pressure.
It's nice to have an actual manager, isn't it? It's nice.
He did. And I'm like the guys there. I sort of really enjoyed his press conference. But for me, the biggest takeaway I took from that press conference, and it wasn't, I don't know if it was necessarily positive, but to me, he seemed pretty unhappy with the fitness level of the squad. And he mentioned the injuries. He mentioned obviously Borna going off. He mentioned the players to come back from injury, but he also kind of hinted that he wasn't very pleased with the fitness levels of the squad as a whole. So it'll be interesting to see how he addresses that situation, because this is and we're in October now. You don't want to be talking about your fitness levels aren't good enough. That should have all been done. So I'm quite intrigued to see how he deals with that and how he gets that improved, because we've said it before, when we were at our best over the last couple of years, it's when we were, really fit and we were managing to press the game continuously for almost the whole 90. So I'll be interested to see how he works that.
Yeah, how he works in the fitness levels, I agree with you, which will lead us nicely on to the Sparta Prague game as well. But in terms of Saturday, look, it's a win. It's a convincing win. It was much more like it. Rangers played some really attractive football at times, and I enjoyed my Saturday. And it's been a long, long time since I said that. We had a great day. To be fair, even after it, and I think it just changes everything. Even the night after it, there's more about us. There's more zip in our step, if you like, after the game. So no, as far as a start goes, I'm all for it, and I say I'm quietly optimistic about what I've seen so far, but it's now up to continue that and to build on that and to take it forward. So on to the next game. There's obviously the Europa League game against Sparta Prague on Thursday evening, and Scotia, as you just mentioned something about the fitness levels, before I come on to Sparta themselves, we've got a bit of an issue at left back, mate. Thank you, Mr. Beale, for this one. With Barish, it's looking like he's probably going to be out and Yilmaz not in the European squad. Who plays there, mate? Who plays at left back? Or will he move to a back three, perhaps?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Or were you asking me that question? Sorry, before I
jumped straight in there.
Yes, sorry, that's okay. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what you do. I don't know if I was on the pod at the time when the Euro squad got announced. I don't know if we touched on it that Yilmaz was left out, but I remember thinking at the time that's a really strange one for me. We
definitely spoke about it. With no doubt, we spoke about that.
Yeah, it was a strange one at the time, because it wasn't like Yilmaz had been predicted to be out for up until after Christmas, where I think obviously you can change it if we get through to the next stage, the Europe after Christmas. But I found it strange, and obviously we don't know what the situation with Borna is yet. I think it's a press conference tomorrow night or tonight. Tomorrow night it'll be. Yeah. So we won't find that out until then. If he doesn't make it, he has got a bit of a headache in what he does there. I don't want to kind of reveal. Are we going to, if we're giving teams, I don't really want
we'll do teams. We'll do teams and scores. Yeah.
Well, so I don't want to reveal my team, but there's a few ways around about it I see, but not ideal situation to be in.
No, Ryan, this is another one you've got to kind of scratch your head at Bill, what he's thought about here, because I really don't know. I mean, I suppose it was always bound to happen, mate, that you've got two natural left backs in your squad and you only pick one of them for your European squad. It's not an ideal situation to begin into this, but I think more so than anything, it could possibly give an opportunity to another player, a player that's maybe on the fringes, maybe a youth player. I'm not really sure. I've got my idea of what I think will be as well, which we'll come on to, but it's a bit of a conundrum right now.
Yeah, as you said, thank you, Mr. Beale, for this one.
I loved the enthusiasm as you said that, mate. It was very good, very good.
I'm trying to hold back. I'm trying to be professional. Just another strange decision by Michael Beale. But I mean, listen, you need to get into the game and utilise your squad. That's the way I look at it. If you had injuries or whatever, this is where you've got to deal with. So you deal with the cards you've been given. We don't have a left back. I think I had a wee nosy at the bench there from Saturday, and Dijon Stirling wasn't on it because in my head it would be him because he played left back against Celtic and was very good that day. I thought he played really well, Dijon Stirling. So for me, he was the automatic choice, but he wasn't on the bench on Saturday, I don't believe. Ben Davies was. Left-footed guy, can play, probably left back, I'd imagine. So I think, I don't know, unless you guys can think anything else, I think that might be our only option unless you do switch the formation, which I don't think you will do. So yeah, we've got a wee bit of conundrum. I don't know anything about Sparta in terms of what they've got on the right-hand side. So it could be a long night for Suter or whoever's playing left centre-back because they might need to help the left-back out quite a bit. But yeah, we just need to go on, mate, Carney. It's one of these things and move on from it. But like Scotia said, I'm hoping that come December, I'm hoping Ridvan's fit and we can just get him in that European squad because, like I said on Saturday, he needs a run now. He played well for me on Saturday and he's a run now. He needs to play Monday, Thursday. Oh, sorry, I don't know why he's playing on Monday. He needs to play weekend, Thursday, every week to get a bit of consistency and minutes behind him because he's not had a run in that team, whether it be injury or form, and he needs that. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see who we play on Thursday. Not Monday.
Yeah, not Monday. No, definitely not Monday. Ali, I've literally just checked there quickly as well. In the B team squad, Sterling wasn't in it. Sterling wasn't in that squad either. So there's obviously an issue there because from the B team game that was played, it was obviously the managers made the decision to play the kind of fringe players, if you like, to show what they were all about, or the players that he hadn't quite had a look at yet, and Sterling wasn't there. So it is a bit, if Borna is out, there's not many options.
Devine's played left back before, but Devine's not played this season for us, so he's another one that's kind of fallen away. So, yeah, for me, Davies plays there. Davies can play left back. I remember Beale always saying that Davies could play left back, but Michael Beale said a lot of things. So,
so he can then.
But I mean, the guy's naturally left-footed. Sterling out there, I agree with Ryan. Sterling he was all right against Celtic. I have seen him there in previous times, and I thought, no, he looked a bit dodgy out there. So I would play Davies out there. I mean, you're not going to expect Davies to go up and down the park. I fully don't expect that against Sparta in their backyard. For me, Davies plays there as a makeshift, and again, bizarre decision for Michael Beale. We had a quick discussion in the pub on Saturday there. It's baffling, Carney. And his reason for it was it's because he's injured. But as Scotia says, I don't think he thought Yilmaz was going to be injured all the way up to December. He came back literally as we played that first Europa League game, and he's put Rangers and he's put the new manager in the shit already because of what he's done in terms of the team selection for the Europa League. But for me, it's Ben Davies at left back.
Yeah, on to Sparta Prague themselves. So they're top of the Czech First League. They've not lost a game in the league with 10 wins, 2 draws. In fact, the only game that they have lost was the Champions League third round qualifying round even. Aye, does that make sense? Yes, where they went out in penalties to Copenhagen. Ali, I'll come back to you, mate. There's no mugs this lot, mate. Absolutely no mugs. They're in a good bit of form just now. Not conceded many goals, I don't think, in the league. Scored quite a few. This is a real test for Clement. This is a real test for this squad, and it'll be a bit of a marker, I think, he'll be hoping to put down in terms of what he hopes to get out the players. Maybe not in terms of the shape of the formation due to the issues that we've just spoke about there, but it's going to be a step up from playing Hibs at Ibrox, put it that way.
That's a huge step up there. top of the league, 2 points clear. They pumped some mob 4-0 at the weekend as well. I don't know who the team were. Scotia will know exactly who that team was, but I know they did win 4-0 at the weekend. But yeah, if you look at their Europa League, I mean, they played Limassol and won, was it 3-2 or something in the first game? And I think they were unlucky against Betis in the second game. So yeah, I'll expect them to take the game to Rangers in their backyard on Thursday night. But the game's there for Rangers. I don't fear them. I don't fear going out there. But I'll be honest right now. I mean, I want Rangers to win the game, but a draw for me would be a decent result out there, especially with we've still got 2 home games at Ibrox to come. But yeah, I don't fear this team. I know they're top of the league, but we've played them previously, haven't we? We played them previously
a few times.
Seasons ago. Yeah, 2 seasons ago, and we've beaten them. So yeah, I fancy Rangers against them on Thursday. I wouldn't have said that a couple of weeks ago.
No, on that note, mate, give me your teams and scores.
In goals, Cyril.
Score even.
Right, in goals, Cyril Dessers. Oh.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, Dessers. Yeah,
no, folk tuning in now will be like, "What's that all about?" So I listen to the beginning of the podcast, but no, Jack Butland in goal, Tav, Goldson, Suter, Ben Davies, Lundstrom, Raskin, Jack Ryan, that new signing. Todd Cantwell.
That was quite good for you. I'm going to give you that. Well done, mate.
Todd Cantwell, Abdallah Sima, and Dessers for me through the middle. I know Kamar Roof's, I don't know where Kamar Roof is in terms of his fitness, but we've got a lot of games coming up. Big games, obviously Hearts and the League Cup. And Kamar Roof's good for the big games, but Dessers plays for me. So that's my team. My scoreline is going to be 2-1 Rangers. Dessers to score first. There you go. That's positive.
Yeah, my team's pretty similar to yours, mate. I think it's not going to be too far away from that. The only thing that I can maybe think of happening instead of playing Jack depends on how adventurous he wants to be, because I don't believe he's going to need Jack to be there in order to cover a lot of the left-hand side anyway, because of if Davies is going to be playing at the back. So I'd have Lundstrom and Raskin in the middle, and then I think I would have Cantwell. I don't really want to play him out on the right, but I think he might. I think he might kind of play Cantwell out on the right, Lammers in the middle, Sima and Dessers. I think it's important Dessers continues. I'll go 2-1 as well, and I'll go Dessers to score first. There you go, some positivity. Scotia, your thoughts ahead of the game, mate, and then your team and your score.
Yeah, pretty much all the stuff that you and Ali spoke there about how well Sparta are doing in their home league, but I think their home league's maybe a bit similar to the Scottish Premiership, that it's themselves and Slavia that are fighting it out more often than not. It's similar to us with Celtic. Had a wee look at their team, because I was like, are they better than when we played them last time round? Now, we're probably not as good as we were at that point as well, where we were riding in Europe at that time. I don't know if they're as good. I know they've bought a boy that played for Kucha, but he played against us for Slavia Prague. He was Sima's ex-teammate. I remember he played in those games back then.
Footballing knowledge there. That's pulled right out the top drawer. That
knowledge. There's Google involved as well there. Google involved as well. But I seen his name pop up and I was like, no, I remembered it from when he played against us. Yeah, I think Clement as well mentioned in the press conference after the Hibs game there that they like to play like a 3-4-2-1. I'll take Clement on his word for that. So I think it could be quite a tasty game, because this will be the third game of the group, and the group's all sitting pretty much level pegging, almost completely level pegging. Both Aris and Sparta are on 3 points with we've all got the same goal difference. They've got 4 against, 4 for. Us and Batiste on 3 points, but 2 against, 2 for. So the group's very, very evenly poised. So this could be interesting. I think the double header is massively important for us to get out of this group, but I do have confidence that we can get a decent result over in Sparta. It should be quite hostile as well. Ever since that Slavia game,
That's true.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. Do you want my team?
Yes, please.
Score? The only, you were talking there about left back. One name that popped up for me, I don't think he will play, is Robbie Fraser. Plays at left back for the B team, but I don't see that really
being a risk in it.
Something that going. Yeah, I think so. So my team's quite similar to yours and Ali's, but I'm tweaking the formation set slightly. I'm going to go with Butland and goals, a back three: Suter, Goldson, and Davies. Tav, Lundstrom, Raskin, Cantwell, and Sima. And then Dessers, it probably won't be, but I'd play Danilo. Dessers and Danilo up top. A 3-5-2, which can revert back to a 4-4-2 if it's not working out, and push Davies out on the left like Ali kind of had there. But I'd kind of go with the 3 centre half. Sima playing that wee bit deeper as a kind of wing back type of position. That's what I'd go for.
I like that team, Scotia.
Yeah, it's quite a good team. Yeah, it's quite
attacking though as well. So I don't know if he'll maybe like have a Jack in there rather than a Danilo. But I'd quite like to see that.
He's a tactical genius, Scotia. What's your score, mate?
I'll go 3-1. I'll go one better than you guys. 3-1.
Right.
Sima to score first.
Bring it on. Ryan, to finish up, mate, your thoughts on the game on Thursday night and your team and your score.
Yeah, I think I agree with Scotia. It'll be hostile. I saw a clip of the review a wee while ago. I think it was Derek Clark was on with some sort of Czech Republic football pundit guy, and he was saying Slavia and Sparta are unified in their hatred for Rangers. Apparently, we are well hated over there after the Slavia game, which is really interesting. I don't see us unifying with that lot over much, but if that's the way they want to be over there, that's fair enough. I think the stage is set for Abdullah Sima, mate. I think he played with Slavia before. I don't think that's the only other reason they'll hate him. So I'm hoping he goes over there and sticks it to them, and I'll take him as first goal scorer straight away. I will go with the same team as Ali. I think Ben Davies and Jack and Cantwell will come in for Ridvan, Scott Wright,
Lammers.
and Lammers. Thank you. Yeah, so I think they'll come in. I won't go for anything too crazy like Scotia taking the handbrake off there, and I think Rangers will win. I think Rangers will win 3-1, and I'll go Abdullah Sima brace.
Sounds good to me, mate. Sounds good to me. But it's nice to be positive. It's nice to have a wee spring back in our step. And this, as I say, it could be it's going to be a real test for Clement, as no doubt. As I say, and it's going to be very interesting to see the approach that he takes in terms of the team selection. But I'm very much looking forward to it. As I say, it's all level playing in the group, so it's all to play for. And let's just hope we continue what we'd seen on Saturday and take it into Thursday. For tonight, Alistair, thank you very much.
No problem. Looking forward to having Rangers back Thursday and Sunday, and then Wednesday and Sunday. So there's a lot of Rangers games coming up. So looking forward to it.
A lot of games, a lot of podcasts coming up, mate, for sure. Scotia, thanks, mate.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Enjoyed that tonight. It's good having all 4 of us on as well. So thanks for that.
Nice one. And Ryan, thank you, mate.
Cheers, guys. Sorry for being so positive. I will try and bring it back down a couple of notches for you. People will be wondering if there's anything wrong with me, but no, it's good to be positive about Rangers, and I'll always be positive when they play like that on Saturday. So, as I said, long may it continue.
Long may it continue. We'll be back on Thursday after the game with a club reaction as usual. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, all the usual stuff, and we will speak to you Thursday after hopefully your team wins. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Cheers, everybody.